John 3:21. He who practices the truth comes to the light so that his deeds may be manifested as having been wrought in God. John 3:21. We'll do it one more time. He who practices the truth comes to the light so that his deeds may be manifested as having been wrought in God. So these are the last words that Jesus spoke to Nicodemus, and who came secretly and visiting Jesus at night. And I believe Jesus is saying here, if someone really wants to do God's will, they'll come out of the darkness into the light. And I believe that it's talking exactly about what we heard today, about cleansing ourselves and purifying ourselves, bringing the dark things that are inside of us to the light, looking to the Lord to help us clean them. For example, if there's something I did or said or some thought that I wasn't sure that it was in God's will, that means it's still in the dark. And there's one thing I have to do. I have to bring it to the light and see, was this, it has to be manifested so I could see, was it wrought in God? In other words, was it God's will? Was this God's will for me? Was this word that I said, or this attitude, was it pleasing to the Lord? And so it's like David said, he said in Psalm 139, 23 and 24, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxious thoughts, and see if there's any hurtful way in me, and lead me in the everlasting way. So that I believe that should be my attitude. It should be the attitude of every Christian who really is determined to be a disciple. Lord, I want my inside to be clean. I want to purify myself, just as we heard today. And I've noticed in my own life, that's a constant, that the Lord is always reminding me to check myself. And sometimes, for example, at work, I've sent emails, and after I've sent an email, I've sometimes had a hesitation. Was this right? Was my attitude right there? I think maybe there was some impatience there, or maybe a bit of laziness that was causing me to respond in a certain way, or and so I've seen I have to bring these emails to the light sometimes. And how do I do that? For me, the way I felt I had to bring them to the light is by sometimes go back to my sent items and reread the email with the Lord next to me there, saying, Lord, how was my spirit? How is it now? Lord, help me judge myself. And I've seen he really does help me. And sometimes I've had to send an apology email, repent and correct the situation somehow. But even better than reading the email after I send it is judging myself before I send it. I have to know that it's wrought in God first before I do anything or say anything. And wrought, I think, basically just means, where did it come from? Where is this origin? Where was it manufactured? Staying in the dark means ignoring what's in me, just not caring about it, kind of moving on, whether I see where I'm going or not judging myself, not loving the truth about myself. But coming to the light is just what we heard. It's keeping a clean conscience and asking God to try me. Lord, what's inside of me there? Like, reveal what's there, like eager for practice tests so that we can get better. Because I think anybody who's a serious student, they're always eager to look at their test results because they want to get better. They want to know, where am I lacking? Any good student, they're not going to get their test results back after they've taken a big test and just throw it in the garbage without looking what they got wrong. And so I've seen that I should be doing that. How much more in my spiritual life? And then one last thing is, I've noticed that judging myself, a lot of times it's not burdensome at all, ever. And a lot of times it only takes even just a fraction of a second, not even any conscious words sometimes, but even just the thought in my heart. I noticed the other day I had a question to the Lord about something, and I brought it to him, and I was about to verbalize it. And as I was almost like I said the first couple of words, Lord was there, and then he just gave me the answer, like a confirmation right away. And and so I believe it's very easy to walk in the light like that. The Lord, he wants to be speaking. He wants me to come to him, and his commandments aren't burdensome. He's not intentionally plugging our ears. As long as I'm not clinging really tightly onto things I can hear, clearly. The more I die to my own will, the easier it'll be to hear his voice and his will. I think a lot of God's children may have to say, he may have to say, I have to keep raising my voice over and over again to get their attention. I have to prick their conscience 10 times before I get any response out of them. But I hope that the Lord can say of me, before I even whisper to this child of mine, he's asking me about it already, submitting it to me in his heart. And I really want to have that heart, bringing it to the light right away, walking in the light. And that's exactly how Jesus lived all the time. I think Hebrews 5:7 says how Jesus was crying so hard and praying to be saved. Was it after he fell? No, it was before he would ever fall. And that's the reason why he never sinned. So that's my goal too, to follow Jesus in that way.